Hello, and thanks for joining us on the Sunday Millennial. I am your friend and host, Dave, the Millennial Moderator. We are joined tonight by Kyler, finally.
Hey, Dave. Hope everyone's ready.
We are. We're also joined by Donald. Thanks for being here.
Good to be back.
Good to be back. We have CJ running the board.
Hello.
Hello. Good to see you. And we have our special guest, Cousin Dave.
What's going on, everybody? How are you? I'm Cousin Dave.
I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad.
That's his legal name, too, which is
It
crazy.
is. I own a business, Cousin Dave Entertainment.
There you go. So it's legal and it's legit. We're going to start out our show here by first, as always, tradition on the show, going first to our guest. So, Cousin Dave, we're going to bring it right back to you. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name's Cousin Dave, Dave Cantwell. I'm originally from Shenandoah, Pennsylvania. I currently live in Minersville. I have a place in Mechanicsburg, and I play in a band called The Boys Upstairs. I try to have a good time, play some music. So I'm a drummer. I don't know, Other than that, I just try to have a good time. Oh, I guess one of the reasons I'm here is I'm a senior software application developer down in Harrisburg.
That's perfect for our topic. Kyle, you already have a question. Oh,
Yeah,
God.
yeah. Why not the boys downstairs? Was there?
Oh, no,
was
hold
there a
on,
debate
hold on,
between
hold
downstairs and
on.
Upstairs?
The Boys Upstairs is the normal band name, but whenever we cross-dress, it's the girls downstairs.
That's right. I heard about that, actually. I remember you told me that, actually.
Yep.
That's interesting. That's
Yep.
very interesting.
That's usually Halloween.
I see. Oh, really? So if you do a Halloween show, you're
And
gonna
we dress as the girls downstairs.
That's awesome.
So then if you
And we
wanna-
we used to play at the Greystone downstairs.
Wow. So you could change it up and be
That's
like
cool.
the kids outside, the grandmas in the attic, or like
It
the
works,
grandpa's in the foyer.
it works very well. Whatever you do, don't Google it.
yeah.
Right.
Just trust me on that one.
I have a question for you. What's it like being a band from our county?
You know what? I'm lucky. We're in a pretty well-known band. It's a lot of fun. We get a lot of gigs. It sucked right now because of COVID and everything like
Absolutely.
that. But it's fun. We don't play much local or much outside of the local area. But we have a cool running thing that we do in at the BBT Pavilion out in New Jersey with Live Nation. So we get
That's
to
awesome.
we get to do some big shows. We played with Blink-182 last year. Slayer, Cannibal Corpse.
No shit.
Yeah. But we didn't play with them. We played like their VIP party, which is cool.
That's cool.
But we lost a lot of shows this year. It was like Rage Against the Machine. We were supposed to do Incubus, things like that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So don't be mad at me now. And I'm from here, as you know.
Yeah,
I haven't heard of your band.
that's fine. I'm okay
Please
with
don't
that.
be mad at me. Are we still friends?
Oh, totally friends.
We got the same name. I think we should be
Yeah.
friends.
You can convert him
Dave.
convert him to one of your outside, inside, upstairs, downstairs fans.
Yeah.
Come see me play if you want to. It's okay. I'm not going to force you.
Well, and I say that because you were saying some of the bands that you played with, and I was like, I dig those bands.
Yeah, they're
Like, I really do.
Yeah.
They're awesome bands. So I'm assuming that you play that kind of style.
Not at all.
Well,
No,
shit.
we're a cover band, so we play like classic rock, top 40 stuff, everything like that. It's
That's
hilarious.
awesome too. Okay, so I'm still hooked. I thought you're gonna be like, no, we play some goth heavy metal stuff. I mean, it's
I'd watch you. I'd be there in a heartbeat.
we worship
Yeah.
the devil and everything. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
I have a great story for you already. You ready? You ready for this one? So we're playing with Slayer and Cannibal Corpse. All right, we're a cover
like those
band.
bands.
Yeah, we're a cover band, and what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to play the beginning of the show, and then we're supposed to play in between the bands, and so Cannibal Corpse finishes their set with a song, one of their hits, called "I Come Blood."
really?
Yeah, that's one of their hits. And we get done and we're like, oh my God, they just literally finished that set with that. So we get back on to our VIP, the VIP section where we're doing it. And I go, and I didn't do it. My buddy Steve did, my guitar player. He goes, well, that was Cannibal Corpse with I Come Blood. Here's some Tom Petty.
Yeah, I'm sure you're free falling. Oh my god.
So
We were
when you said they finished their set, did they finish?
They finished.
You know what I mean?
So
They
there was
finished.
blood all over the set.
Jesus.
I hope they had some props.
I listen to metal. Like, I love metal. Like, I've grown up, I listened to Tool, and then I went from Tool to like Chevelle, and then it just got heavier, more underground from there. Like, I love metal. Cannibal Corpse, I just can never get into them. But there's just bands like that exist that every song title is just gross to the next one. Like, one of my friends, Billy Eckert, loves like metal that's just like absolutely gory, and like every name is I Come Blood, I Eat Babies, I Eat Cum Blood. So it's just wow.
Yeah.
So Dave, So
Yes.
Dave, let's hear some more about you.
Some more about me. I've been playing music for well over 20 years, doing things like that.
How'd you get started?
Actually, it was my sister. My sister Megan. She came home from band practice one day, and she's like, "Hey, we don't have a bass drummer. Do you want to come play?" And I was like in 5th grade, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And she brought me in, and next thing I know, I'm playing bass drum in a marching band. And then our first show was at the Lackawanna County Stadium, where like it was the Red Barons at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And there's video evidence out there somewhere of this, but I was so small. I was such a small kid. I had a bass drum strapped on me, and I couldn't carry it. I fell over and rolled over, and it was on video. I kept rolling.
That's awesome.
So, but there's
Gotta
that,
pull
and
that
then like I started playing drum set when my brother bought me a drum set, and then that was from there on. The next day, my buddy Mike Spears, who God rest his soul, I have a little heart right there on.
Oh, look at that.
On my. These are all the hearts for people that had an influence on my musical career.
I like that.
He called me up the next day. He's like, "I heard he got a drum set. Let's start a band." And I was like, "Boom." That was
So
it.
how long has this band been together then?
The boy, I've been in tons of bands.
Oh, okay.
So it's not the original band that I've
Got
been
it.
in. But the boys upstairs, I stopped touring in 2014 and then joined the band with Steve, and it was Steve and Frank and Terry at the time, and from then on out, so I've been in the boys upstairs for like 6 years.
Awesome.
What's your favorite song to perform or to play? Maybe one that like, I don't know. Do you have one or?
Oh man, I don't know. I'll
If
be
you had to
honest.
choose one, if they told you you have one
Last
to
song.
perform,
Closing time.
Yeah, because it sucks. It's a job.
you have to play it when it's
Right.
when it's over.
I'll be honest with you. Half the time, I don't even know the name of the songs we're playing.
Really?
I'm just dead serious. Like what is that one? How does it go?
You're probably one of those guys that in your head you just have the drum, this actual song in your head, and as
Yeah.
it's going, you're like, nah, nah.
I've filled in for bands, and they start playing a song. I'm like, yo, I know that song.
Yeah, yeah.
What was the name of that?
That's so weird.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I know
But,
guys like
it's
that.
cool.
I know guys like that. It's cool.
As much as I hate to play the song, I love playing the song. It's probably Foo Fighters, My Hero.
Good song. There goes my
Yeah.
hero.
Yeah. That's a really good song.
It's fun to
Can
play.
can you play it right now?
I was just.
Oh no,
It's hard. It's kind of hard because
Yeah.
because there's
Oh,
no
okay.
drum set. So
Yeah.
Something's gonna break.
I'll probably break. I break everything anyway.
Is that the symbol right there? The coffee cup's the symbol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
let me
wouldn't do
take a
that.
drink of the symbol.
Yeah. So, it's interesting you brought up the COVID thing because that's what I wanted to ask you. What's it look like for your band? Going forward. I mean, it's a crazy time, and I think as we start to get guests on, we had somebody who was in a band, Cole. Shout out to Cole.
Yeah.
Who's in a band too. And he had a gym as well, in his wrestling gym. That's kind of what we talked about as far as the future with COVID. Because honestly, it's not going away. I know things are starting to open up.
Yeah.
Even my church starting to open up. But what's the future?
I think it's going to be more like a lot of people are doing those like drive-in shows, and we actually did a show on Facebook. We did a Facebook Live show. It was really cool, but it's not the same. You kind of have to fake it when you're doing that. You're like, oh, like thank you. We did fake applause on Facebook, everything like that. But it's gonna.
We had that too, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm here all night. But it it comes down to we just got to ride this out, and we got to hope that like some of the venues and things like that can survive. My buddy that works for Live Nation, we talked a couple times, and it's tough. We'll see what happens. But I can't wait to get out in front of people and play some music, even if it's like I'm not afraid to play in front of 2 people. I've played in front of 20,000 people. It's still the same thing for me. I'm there to entertain someone.
I think one thing we talked about too is the only reason we're probably actually on video right now is when Corona hit, we didn't have anything else going on. We kept making podcasts. I kept showing up, and I was like, we have nothing else going on right now. Let's make it video because everyone who can't normally consume what they would have done before. Maybe it's a show. Maybe it's going out or whatever. Maybe we can provide something that people aren't doing right now, because in our area, I can't name one person I know doing this. So that's why we're even doing this. So it's like, I don't want to say Corona is a blessing and a curse, but it's like in some ways it pushed us to do things that we wouldn't have normally done. but
Yeah.
it doesn't benefit everyone, obviously.
No, I mean, don't get me wrong. We lost a lot of money.
Yeah, that's sad.
Like missing out on shows. But we were literally, I'm pretty sure we're the last show that happened in Schuylkill County. And I'll be honest with you, we had a lot of people frowning on it. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
But I, to me it was like, you know what, we know this is all gonna go down. This is gonna be bad. And we did the show. We had a great time.
Yeah.
And everybody had a great time.
Well, that's what it's about, right?
Yep.
About having
I was
a good
dressed
time?
like a leprechaun, giving
Oh
out
my
gold
God.
coins.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I'm praying for you and your band.
Thank you.
That you guys can get back on the road, get back on the show, and just find new creative ways to do this. And Donald touched on it too. Struggle creates adversity, and you get creative about it, and you push through. And the great thing about this show is what it will become is that we're going to support each other, because we're all from the same area. And I just think that's what
Skook represents, man. Let's go.
I really do. No, honestly, I really think that's what it's all about. So I support your band and you, and we're gonna promote you. And I really want to hear you play now.
Yeah, right.
Oh, the second we.
I wish we had a drum set here.
I know. I was thinking that as he was.
Yeah,
I'll be honest
now
with
I'm
you.
thinking about it. I wish we had something set up.
My
here.
cajon's in my car.
Oh god.
But by the way, shout out to Croker Percussion. I have an endorsement deal with those guys. Croker Percussion.
Gotta put them out there.
Yeah, put them out there.
Have you ever played Guitar Hero and played the drum set on Guitar
I hate
Hero?
it.
Oh no.
I was gonna say it's probably that's what guitar players say about it's terrible. It's not.
I try to play it on Expert because I can't play it on anything else but Expert, and the problem.
That's hilarious,
is,
by the way.
Yeah, the problem is it's the timings. Like when you're playing music, there's room for error. When you're playing live, like you're a little behind, a little ahead, it doesn't matter. With the Guitar Hero, you have to be dead on or you're wrong, and it's like,
It's just dumb.
This isn't fun anymore.
It's not the
no fun
same
at it.
thing. It's like playing Wii Sports, right? Like playing basketball, or any sport, right? Like it's not the same thing. That's what I
Wii
was.
bowling's great though. I'm just gonna.
I mean,
say.
that's what
fun.
I.
That is
But,
fun.
but see, you're not a professional bowler though. For people who've played sports like basketball,
Maybe
or,
I'm
they're,
not.
or they're tennis players or whatever, it's not the same thing though, right? Because it's a different. And I can
different
imagine for like us who don't play, well, us two, everyone, you are musicians, but us two, Kyler and I are not musicians. So for us, it's like awesome. We're playing easy. It's like, it's having a good time. But like for actual musicians,
crowd's
it's like, what the
going
hell is
wild.
this?
We're playing.
Yeah. What is this? Yeah.
It's so much fun.
Yeah. Well, we're going to continue to promote you, and we're glad you're here. And along with your band and all that stuff, you also, as you said, are
I'm a software application developer, senior software, whatever. I don't care about titles.
something really
I do
important.
software.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
funny. It's really funny because, our millennial focus has to do with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to move into that.
What are we gonna talk
Again,
about?
tell us about that, Dave.
I'm going to tell you a little bit about that.
All right.
In a post-Cambridge Analytica world, many have come to realize how valuable our personal data is. While it's not too mainstream yet, as you would know, not many people know about it, we're a little bit on to what companies are doing, like Facebook and Google, Amazon. In fact, the former presidential candidate, I talked about you with this, Dave, Andrew Yang.
Haven't heard his name on this show.
Yeah, I know. Has said our personal data is the oil of the 21st century.
Yeah, pretty much.
Google claims that it does not sell your personal data per se, but it certainly collects a shit ton of it.
Yeah.
So, my first question about this is just how much are you aware of this? Don't answer because I know you are very aware of it. So just go around the table here. Just how much are you aware of? Before I gave you some articles and some research, how much are you aware of? Mostly Google. Let's just be honest here. I mean, Facebook does it too, and
It's everybody.
It's everybody, yeah. But mostly Google. But how much are you aware of this?
I mean, every time I've ever subscribed to anything I've ever come across on the internet, once my email, so bad. I don't know what's so valuable about my email. I unsubscribe.
'Cause it's you.
I know, but I unsubscribe from everything. I get something or I apply for something and then I unsubscribe right away. But I probably am on every email list. Like, I mean, my email is just a whore, for a lack of a better term. I mean, everybody, I have like 3 emails, so like everybody has it.
Well, you are the Donald. You are the Donald.
Yeah.
I would delete my email when I get home.
I could tell you stories about Trump Tower too, by the way.
Oh God. Another podcast.
Yeah.
Are you aware of it, Kyler? Though.
Well, me and Donald were talking right before this. When I got online, there's an advertisement for Dick's Sporting Goods, who I just bought a set of golf clubs from, trying to advertise more golf clubs, and I just bought a mountain bike on there as well. I love Dick's Sporting Goods, and and it's funny because we were just talking about it, and then that ad pops up right in front of me. But I'm trying to think back when the first time that I actually remember, seeing something and being like, "Oh, that's weird that came up." I just kind of searched that. I'm trying to figure out when we actually realized this. Was it maybe
you
2,
might have
3,
just talked about it
4 years ago? You know what I mean? But did you guys know, if you're on Instagram, that the 4th post or picture is an advertisement? Every 4th.
Same on Facebook.
Yeah.
I did not know that, but I believe it because it's
Every 4th picture. And someone posted on Facebook, they're like, this was the day that I learned that every 4th picture it was like a meme or something going around. And I looked at it, I was like, oh my God. And that was only about, maybe a month ago.
That's the first time I learned of it too.
Yeah.
Of that every 4th thing.
did anyone see? I gotta ask this question. Did anyone see the movie Ralph Breaks the Internet?
Yeah.
Okay, that is this podcast, but it's a movie. I mean, like, okay, so here I want to bring this point. So, in the movie, when you're going through the internet and Ralph and this other character, I forget her name, are going through the internet and they're walking by ads. The people, they're like little electronic
Penelope.
people. Thank you so much, because that's killing me. They're little electronic people holding up signs that will be like, okay, so golf clubs, right? Holding up a golf club sign. Imagine every advertisement that you get, but instead of it being on like a phone screen or a screen, but you're walking through your hallway to the bathroom and some guy pops out of a closet and it's like, golf clubs? And you're just like, not now. That's exactly what this is, but in the movie. Mm-hmm. Which I just think is funny. Now,
if it comes to that, wow.
So right. So imagine
that'd be intense.
This is super less personal, right? Like Instagram and Facebook are less personal. But imagine if some guy was just like, "Come on, man, you want to buy some clubs?" And he's just like, kind of like sliding to you like it's like drugs, and you're like, "Come on, man, buy these clubs."
What if someone just came out of the closet right now over there?
Right, and they're just like holding up a sign of like a purse, and you're like, "Buy it."
Well, I'll be honest with you. I mean, we're well past that. You know that, right?
What do you mean past it?
We're well past that. So do you ever see any of those video advertisements that are in malls, or like if you're walking down the street and you see, they have video cameras on them and they're just identifying you as, and I hate to say it this way, but you're a 25-year-old white male, or 27, whatever it is. But
Get it right.
Yeah. They're analyzing that data, and
they have the technology, but they're illegal in the United States, right?
Well, in Europe, they're definitely doing this.
Yeah,
I don't know if
China.
it's illegal.
China uses it. China uses their surveillance.
They'll change the advertisement based off what you look. You could be a woman, you could be a man, you could be. It doesn't matter.
Right.
They're gonna change that advertisement based off of what you look.
So I have a question for you then. So okay, so let's strip me down. I am just. I do not know. I'll take my clothes off. No. I don't know anything about what we're talking about. I don't know anything about advertisements. I am a 17-year-old kid who just got a cell phone. I download my cell phone. What should I expect as that person who doesn't know anything? What's about to happen to me when I download Facebook and Google? What am I getting myself into? Like really, like what do you know?
A lot of trouble.
A lot of trouble.
Yeah.
What's
Don't use
about to happen?
Snapchat if you're 17.
Okay, let's do 18 for the sake of for the conversation being for adults. Mm-hmm. I'm 18. I have my information on the internet. What's about to happen to me?
Everything you say, do, your location, any pictures you take, everything like that data is going to somewhere, getting processed, and then they're going to take that data. It doesn't matter if you agree or disagree. Oh, can you help improve, our analytics and everything like that? That's what they try to make you agree to. Most people do. They're like, oh, it's just going to improve your experience. And that's what they're doing.
That's
they're
scary.
improving your experience.
I think the scariest one out of all that is the location. Whenever you open a new app, it asks you about if you want to turn the location on. I mean, that I think is the big one, is knowing where you are at all times.
How many people have Android phones here?
I don't.
We don't.
Nobody
You're the
does.
only one. You're the only one, friend.
Hey, I know I don't either. I have an
No, but you
iPhone.
don't have Androids. But I know the
But-
Androids are with Google, right?
Yeah,
Google
they're-
owns them.
Google
Correct?
owns them.
Yeah.
I had an Android for 2 years, and it was the worst experience of my life. I switched from iPhone because I got sick of when Steve Jobs died. Like the user interfaces on the iPhones just went to shit. I'm sorry. And
You're
then-
fine.
Beep.
But the next thing I know, like I'm like, oh my god, I went to Android. I'm like, this is even worse. This is worse. But like what you do, like, and this is how you have to think about it. You have to think, is this a convenience or is this someone intruding on your privacy? Android is like, yo, we'll follow you around and tell you everywhere you've been. And I would get monthly reports when I had that phone saying, hey, these are all the top spots you hit. What do you want to review this one? Do you want to like, hey, you went to this bar. How was it? How was dinner?
Hey, we saw you in the dressing room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Did those pants fit, Dave? Did
Yeah.
those pants fit? Do you want to buy them? Because I'll send you an ad for
Yeah,
them.
That's the
and
thing,
they would tailor my
36,
ads.
38.
That's the thing, though.
3630.
I'm kind of curious because I'm not. Maybe I'm the only one, but I don't feel so weird about Google or whoever knowing, or Tinder knowing my location. I'm not. Honestly, I'm not. I'm really not concerned about them knowing where I'm at. What are they going to kill me?
Here's the thing.
What about with the fear? What I'm worried about more is what you were talking about, is them predicting what I want and coercing me into things. It's like it's a sociological term, confirmation bias, things like that. Because I'm on a different world. I think of like political applications, hate, racism, things like that. I feel, Cambridge Analytica, by the way, was caught because of their political thing, right? So they were data mining people's searches and interests and things like that on social media, and then they were using that for political data. So like, oh, what are people talking about? Oh, they're talking about fracking. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're anti-fracking or you're pro-fracking? Okay, so we have the data, and we're gonna piece this out. So a lot of people are pro-fracking. So we're gonna put those things in your feed. Pro-fracking, 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 all that stuff, and it had implications about elections and things like that. That's what I'm worried about. I'm not scared about people knowing where the hell I'm at. I go to work and I go
I'm
home.
on the totally
Shit.
other end of that spectrum. Like,
It's crazy. It's crazy.
If you're scared,
Who gives a shit where I'm at? I'm at home or I'm at work.
Okay, so there was a guy on Facebook. I forget his name, but he used to go around the one video that he made. He would go around and he would type in hashtags on Instagram. He typed in a hashtag for a location that was somewhere popular in LA. So he goes to that location, found a girl who posted an Instagram picture of herself at a coffee shop, walked up to her, found her at that coffee shop because he found her Instagram hashtag, and went over to the coffee shop and said, hey, I forget her name. Hey, Andrea, I saw you on Instagram, but I thought I'd come hang out. She didn't know him. He didn't know her. He posted a video, though, to just show how possible it is for people to literally hunt you down. And you're scared of the
That's like a
politic
whole nother
and the
podcast.
political side of it.
it's like the way guys creep on freaking girls. That's like a whole nother.
Well,
Yeah,
what's the
you-
thing? Okay, unfortunately, we don't have a woman here. I wish we would have a woman here to tell us about that part of it, but we're not women, so I don't know. Like,
Okay,
again, I'm just speaking personally. I get it. If there was a woman here and shared that story, I'd be like, oh shit, that's fucking scary. Damn it. That's scary. But for me, it's like I don't really care where people know where I'm at. I'm not afraid. Like I don't live in fear.
Well, that's the thing. You have to decide whether or not you want to. If you don't want to worry about that at all, then don't get rid of your cell phone. Get rid of all your devices, because no matter what, people are tracking you.
Yeah.
If you're
true.
connected to the internet at all,
You see that
someone
in
knows
movies.
where you're at.
You see that in movies, like CIA movies, like the CIA, and they're like, "Oh, I got my phone." They rip it up and they break the chip thing.
Jason
I don't know
Bourne.
what
Jason Bourne taught me everything I know
Yes.
about being
tracking.
tracked.
Yeah.
Whenever someone gets arrested or anything like that, they can trace you back. If you don't have like a VPN, which is one good way to protect yourself by this stuff, is a lot. I don't know if a lot of people know what that is. You know what a VPN is?
Please tell us.
It's a virtual private network. And you can sign up for one. By the way, we need a sponsor for this podcast. But I have a virtual private network that it makes me. I can make the device look like I'm anywhere in the world.
Do you do that?
I can.
It
I
hides
don't
you.
do it because I don't care. Like I don't overthink it, but I can. And I lucked out. I got a lifetime subscription to this one VPN, and then you can connect all of your devices and like load them on, everything like that, and then you can just start making people look like where you're at. That's what they do. So like to hide yourself, you have to kind of like make your IP, which is your internet protocol number, look like it's in multiple places. That's how you
Right.
hide yourself.
I've seen that in spy movies too.
Yeah.
I have another question.
Track his IPN.
So, I remember watching this a couple weeks ago. It was about TikTok. So TikTok is owned by a Chinese company, China.
Oh no!
Is it
no,
really? I actually
it's
didn't know
owned by
that.
North Korea. If you don't know that,
Okay.
sorry.
I thought it was
Is
China.
it really?
Well,
I can't get
some
Asian country.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, North Korea and China one.
from what I was told. I don't know exact details.
So my question in that is, so a foreign country like that we have had relations with that were sour in some ways, obviously. So that country has access to millions and probably almost a billion people's different data right now. So how dangerous is it if I'm an 18-year-old? Okay, I'm an underage kid now, and now my information and data is going
All right.
over to North Korea.
You-
I don't have TikTok. I deleted it because I got scared.
here's the thing. I'm on TikTok because listen, I just don't care.
Okay.
All right, but here's the thing. All right, when did you ever run into something where automatically everybody and their brother goes viral on something?
I don't know.
Instagram.
There's nothing. Instagram doesn't go
Okay,
viral
Vine was kind of like TikTok
in a way.
in a way.
But now TikTok, all of a sudden, I'm living proof. All right, I had one video go, I had 28,000 views, and it was stupid. It was a stupid video. Like, why is that video going viral? And it's because, from what I understand, if this is true, like we have countries that are in charge of this app that are just trying to pinpoint the locations of important individuals in our country.
That's why I deleted it.
And if I were you, if you
So
care,
this
delete
podcast
it.
shouldn't be on TikTok. So I shouldn't grab my phone right now and put a TikTok video of us on the podcast.
I'm on
because-
TikTok.
Dave,
I
you're-
don't care.
You're 20. You're 28.
What am I? I'm not
27?
important. I'm just cousin Dave.
What do you have to show people on TikTok?
But seriously, dead serious. Like I've seen people that like they just post something on TikTok and then they get so
Yeah.
super excited. They're like, dude, I went viral last week. There was so many people watching me. I'm like, what did you do to do that? Like, did you promote something?
You
Did
know you're
pay
bursting
for
a
it?
lot of bubbles right now. All these
Yeah.
people.
You really
Oh,
are. yeah.
I don't care.
There goes our.
I don't care.
There goes our demographic.
Yeah. The problem is to me is like I've seen so many people like get their 15 minutes of fame, and they're so excited about it, but they don't understand what the implications of that are.
Well, this is the point I was. This is the point I was bringing up because this is the thing that scares me. Not so much that Google knows where I'm at.
I thought the location scared you.
That was the opposite. I
Oh,
don't
you're scared
care.
of
I don't care
politics.
that Tinder knows where I'm at, or what dating app knows where I'm at, or Instagram, or whatever. I don't care. I go to work and I go home. Rarely do I ever go somewhere else, especially in this environment. God, I don't care about that. You know where to find me. Hit me up. But the thing that scares me though is influencing, which is what you were saying. And it's funny because, and I don't mean to get political, 'cause it's not a political show, but it's like, a foreign government interfered in our election. A virus came from a foreign country.
TikTok's taking over the world.
And now we have something like TikTok. And I just wonder if there's forces outside America that are influencing our country. I'm seriously, you can say I'm crazy and I'm batshit crazy. I don't care.
Oh, we say that all the time.
Yeah. I said
Yeah,
to everyone.
but there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of exterior factors coming into this country that are influencing our culture, who we are, what we believe in, and I honestly think stirring animosity. And it's a little scary. It's almost like psychological warfare. It's kind of scary. And again, I could be crazy. I could be, but
We'll go look.
2016 election, Russia, COVID-19, that came from China, and now you just told me that TikTok is from North Korea. Now, do you think that it's important for kids to be virally famous? Is that their aspiration in life?
Hey, it's all about the likes.
Thank you.
We talked about last week with the riots and Black Lives Matter. I think what makes it just as bad as what it actually is the cover. Everybody wants to be covered by it. Like if I want to change something in America, if I want to change a policy, or if I want to change something, there are obviously ways you can start doing. You can try to vote in governors. You can promote a certain mayor that abides with what you see may be fit for where that country or where that state should go. But then the other way is protest. Protests have been going on in America since America's been America. It's a way we can express ourselves. It's an absolutely valid form.
It's an American thing to do.
Of a valid form of expression to change something. Now, obviously, in Facebook and in Instagram and the things where people perpetuate it and take videos. What problem is, we didn't talk about this last week, was that people are taking a video and cutting out one side of it. So if, let's say, a protest started in a way and it lashed out and turned from one thing to another.
Media does that.
Exactly. And yeah, you're right. So news outlets have been doing that since, I think CNN and Fox are poison sometimes too. But, these videos that go on these Facebooks, people who go on there and just mindlessly scroll and watch videos and see the advertisements, are now seeing the bad side of what might have been a two-way conversation or two-way riot, whatever, how it started. And now it's being portrayed to look like something else. So that's happening so much faster and in higher quantities than it used to be. So I think that's probably as worse as what you're talking about of these foreign countries intervening. You know what I mean?
And here's the thing too, and I'm gonna bring Kyler in on this shift because I can be crazy in my conspiracy theories. By the way, I'm not like super conspiracy theory person crazy, but it's just things I think about because it's just following things that are going on. I mean, the election tore us apart, COVID tore us apart, and honestly, social media has been tearing us apart too. So it's just,
I hate Facebook.
So it's just things I'm bringing up. But regardless of that, what Donald was bringing up too about just social media and mainstream media, are all our news organizations, whether they're conservative or liberal. I'm just thinking about advertising in general and how we get money from them and the money that they produce. And I just want to ask you about the ethical proportions of that. And I think, Kyler, you might want to talk about that, but you might want to switch to something else.
I wasn't going to get into that. I was kind of going to talk about Donald's point of, social media versus media. So just the convenience of Facebook versus actual media. So actual media will report, I think, bigger sections of maybe certain video, say a certain video on Facebook. Anyone could post just a little portion of that video, could post a meme, could post something that's a half truth. We're having a lot of, or as Kellyanne Conway called it, alternative facts. But basically, Facebook is where half truths exist. Now, the media can certainly be biased on posting what they want or showing what they want, but they'll at least show a bigger picture. Where Facebook, we're seeing a lot of just tunnel vision and very narrow, dialogue or focus on certain things that are happening.
That brings up a good point because I want to bring Dave into this because he's the mastermind. He's the
I got some good stories.
Algorithmic person with this. What's the responsibility of these companies, these social media companies, Facebook, Instagram, you name it? What's the responsibility for promoting this stuff?
Like what they're doing?
Well, so
they're controlling the media right now. And
yeah,
they're also
so I
posts,
put something up and I say this is this, and I have video proof of this, and I'm putting it on my social media, and this is this, and it stirs up a whole. You can insert anything you want in there, whatever it is,
I mean, it's in reality they should have the responsibility of not censoring anything because it's a free country. They shouldn't be blocking this stuff. I hate to say this, but like Donald Trump is stop censoring stuff because it's free speech and everything. But they're also saying that some data and some things that they're saying isn't true and things like that. That's great because there's a lot. Oh my God, Facebook is just riddled with false information. Riddled with false information.
So then is Facebook responsible for de-riddleizing the information? Because this brings up a point, because earlier, I think it was this week or last week, the president tweeted something, and Twitter fact checked him.
Yeah.
And then that's when it went on this tirade that's like,
Started making laws, things like
right,
that.
right. So
You know
is that who? That's. I mean, it's a good conversation because who's responsible?
Here's the way I look at it. If we're at that point that Facebook and Twitter and things like that are what determine the policies and things like that in our country, what did we come to? It's stupid. But
Well, it's a long way from stump speeches.
yeah.
But here's the problem. You're opening Pandora's box because, okay, are you going to fact check every single person? Are you only
Every
going to
single
fact
post.
check?
Yeah, but who's doing the
You know,
fact checking?
The fact
God.
that you're just fact checking
Who's
the
doing
president?
it?
I mean, that's
Liberal donees.
There's a group called Honest Trav's Dive Bar or whatever it is, and people are like there's girls that I know that are posting like nice they're just pictures of them on a beach, and people are like, oh, I don't like this, like because they're in a bikini and there's some cleavage showing. Like that's stupid. Like,
Well, what happens if Facebook or Twitter has to do okay, so Trump pressures them and says, okay, well now we need to start. I want to say I've seen something about this. I want to say that Zuckerberg came out with a thing saying that they're not responsible for fact checking.
Yeah.
Yes,
Don't
he
quote
did.
me. Okay, he did.
He did.
So but what happens if there's pressure from the government? Now that they are being pressured by a government to put something into place, what happens if Facebook and Twitter are now being controlled by some other conglomerate, or other organization, some other government thing that now they become somewhat or semi-political, which I believe Twitter is in a way sometimes, and so is Facebook. They do censor things, and it has been going on. You can't post some things, especially YouTube. YouTube's even worse at it now, but
you got to watch what names you drop on YouTube.
absolutely, it will get watched. This video will get watched just like every other video by
Yeah,
analytics.
absolutely.
So, okay, so who governs that body that governs those bodies? Because now, if things aren't free speech, and if that starts to become censored, well then, and a platform like Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, where people are putting things on there to promote themselves, their lives, what they believe in. If you take that away from them by censoring it, well, then there goes social media. It's no longer social media. Now we're talking like, okay, are we going towards Russia?
here-
Is this going to start getting?
here's the thing.
Are we starting to have to wear certain
Welcome-
outfits and pictures? And,
Friends, welcome to democracy.
I wouldn't even call it democracy. That's like
No, it is. Welcome to democracy is free speech. So you can say whatever the hell you want to say, and you reap the consequences of what it is to the mob.
That's the big thing. You reap the consequences of what you say.
To the mob, though.
Yeah.
Well, who's the
if
mob?
you
Say
say
mob,
something
the mob
terrible,
is
you
a
gotta own up
Roman
to that.
expression. The mob is a Roman expression for everyone else.
But there are
So-
no consequences. Like
No?
today,
If I would say
Yeah.
something
there
right
are.
now, we named the unholy trinity. Remember
some
earlier?
Yeah.
some people have that.
There's
not everyone.
There's not
True.
consequences. Look at those. Look at some of those directors that were doing some of the Marvel movies when they did stupid stuff when they were kids, when they were trying to like act out and do like stupid stuff to make themselves bigger in the art industry, in the movie industry, and 20 years later they get knocked off a movie as a director because they did something stupid when they were a kid. That's stupid.
It's not just movies.
We've all done stupid things when we were kids.
It's not just entertainment. It's political too. You
Yeah.
know. Oh God, now I can't think of his name. The senator from Minnesota, the comedian. Damn it, CJ. Al Franken.
Okay.
Had that. He it was leaked a video, a photo of him like pretending to touch a woman's breast.
Yeah.
Who was in the military. Gone. He said gone.
I just saw on Facebook or on internet. Remember I was talking about blackface. Jimmy Fallon got in
Yes,
trouble.
yes.
Jimmy,
Ooh, I seen that.
Robert Downey
and
Jr.
and someone said, "Well, why didn't Jimmy Kimmel get in trouble of blackface?"
Right.
Yeah.
So yes, you're right. Some people get in trouble, some people don't. But again, but that's the thing. I was just saying, this is democracy. It's the mob. So whose mob is bigger than the other mob? It just depends.
You
And
guys
it-
start picking factions like in what's
Right.
it called?
And that's stupid.
The Hunger Games.
Well, it's what it is.
Yeah.
That's called democracy. In an authoritarian government, it's I say this.
District
and then
13 right
there's-
here.
Yeah.
Wait, what is
I
it?
mean, yeah, I volunteer as tribute. Yeah, that whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the point I was bringing up is that that's democracy, and I'm the one who brought this whole. I'm the one who kind of got this whole conversation to go this way, because now we're talking about entertainment and politics and all this stuff. And the thing is just that this was my fear, right? Because when you have companies that can mine your personal data and know your preferences and how the I can't even say it.
Algorithms.
That's a hard word to say.
Algorithms.
Is that not a hard word to say, by the way?
Algorithms.
Smash the like button for the algorithm.
Algorithms to detect what you like
a band
and your
name.
interests and also your
Algorithms.
dislikes.
I'd listen to him.
They know what you want. And again, I get into this confirmation bias. So, you think some way and you feel some way. They're going to feed you into what you want and what you like. But then who's responsible to say, you know what, that's not right. That's not right. Or that's wrong. Who's to say that? It's a free country, free democracy, First Amendment.
I think especially with what's going on with this TikTok and everything like that, like one of the biggest things that I fear for people, and I think this is like a mental health issue thing, is it's the false sense of I'm important. There's a lot of that going on now because of TikTok and things like that. You can go on TikTok and you can look up these people that have millions of views, everything like that, millions of likes, everything like that. And then they link their Instagram. You go click on their, and this is how, like back in the day when I first started touring, playing music, everything like that, there was ways that you could buy likes and you can buy followers on Instagram and stuff like that. So you wanted 10,000 followers or 10,000 likes on Facebook? Give me $100. We'll run a robot and we'll give you 10,000 followers. And then they'll all go away eventually. It's all fake. It's all fake. It just makes you look like you're more important.
It puts you in the moment.
So we were talking about this last week too. When somebody, I don't know if we talked about this, but those mobs of people, and this goes to cell phones. So in the mobs of people that were at these riots, and I watched a video of it. It was cops on one line. There was cops, dressed across the entire road, and then on the other side were all the rioters and the protesters. Every single rioter, every single protester was holding their phone like this. They were holding their phone like that, and people were walking up to cops, and with one hand, they were telling the cop what they should be doing, and then on the other hand, they were showing all of their followers what they're capable of. Look at me. I'm telling this cop off. I'm telling this cop my opinion and all, so if they take that phone away and now all you're doing is talking human being to human being, if me and you met each other in an alley, nobody sees it happen. Our confrontation, our friendship, whatever happens of it, is ours and ours alone. Mm-hmm. But if I have the power to show 10,000 people something, and even if they don't care, they do care, those likes are complete fuel for that person.
It's
terrible.
Like, it's a false sense of what I don't even know what you would call it. It's not a pride. Be like, oh my God, look at how many people like me. I get over it. Like that's the biggest thing. It's the biggest problem is like, you do it for the likes, you do it for the followers, you do it for things like that. And that's where like TikTok and all this other stuff is like, they're manipulating people into thinking that they're famous.
I feel like there should be a podcast.
We just I've never heard that before. Say that again.
They're manipulating people into thinking they're famous,
which gives them power.
And it right away it's like, oh,
power.
by the way, and I've run into the only reason I'm on TikTok is I want to see this because someone told me about it, and I noticed it right away. I mean, my video that went viral that has 28,000 views or whatever heck it is nothing. It shouldn't be viral. There's no reason for that at all.
Yeah.
And then I see some of these other people that are popping up on my TikTok feed and everything like that, and they have millions of views and everything like that, and they're like so famous. But you know how it's not true? Their Instagram is linked to their TikTok. You click on their Instagram and you can go see how many followers they have. And then you go in there, and I'm like, and they might only have 1,000 followers or things like that. And it's like there's something going on.
And
there.
again, I'm going to bring us back to this is the root cause. This is the thing that scares me. It's not about knowing where I'm at. Again, I don't care where you know where I'm at. I'm care about how you influence people. Okay, and you can go into my conspiracy theory about the whole outside influence thing. And if you don't want to believe that, fine. But just believe what Cousin Dave said. How it's poisoning people's minds that you're so important that you need to be famous for some reason.
It's a false sense of pride.
I would say it's a form
of
addiction.
It is. Thank you. This is what I was talking about. That's what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about where I'm at. Christ, who cares? But
these people do.
They people's minds
they
into thinking they know. Yeah, to thinking them to know that I'm famous. I'm so special that I'm more special than everyone else.
So everyone gets a participation trophy. This is just the.
It goes into
this
all
is the
that
part.
stuff.
TikTok's doing.
TikTok is a participation. And
I'm sorry I went down this
social
TikTok
media.
route, but
We can
I'm
put
That
seeing
is
it.
the root, but that is the
I'm
root.
seeing it.
They're
And
not
is
even
what
from
it is.
America, so.
And like, listen, like I'm not famous at all. I'm from Schuylkill County. I live here.
Represent.
Yeah, Schuylkill County represent. I'm no one. I've been around the country. I've seen some things. By the way, we have a great area around here. I would love to talk more about how awesome Schuylkill County is.
And if you want to know where we're at, apparently you can follow Dave and find his location. He doesn't care.
yeah,
so.
it's pretty.
care.
Both of
Find
us.
me.
It's right there.
Come to my
I'm on
house.
Snapchat
Talk
right
to me.
now. You probably see I'm right exactly in this spot. But the thing is to me is like, you know, if you need that justification, then okay, that's fine if you need that justification. But if not, if you're happy with yourself and you're proud of what you've done and where you're at in your life, you don't need that.
But can you be proud of who you are and what you're about, and not want to be like 10 million likes, followers? Like that's the point I'm trying to
Okay,
get.
so how do you teach the next generation that
TJ?
their importance in this world isn't measured in likes?
Hold on.
and-
Hold on.
It's
Millennial
that's
focus.
That's the question.
Millennial focus moment here. Is this a millennial issue or is this a Gen Z issue?
Everyone.
It's an everyone issue because
Okay, thank
I'm
you.
talking about older people and things like that they're like, oh my God, I'm getting so many likes and so many followers and everything like that. Like, does that make you sleep well at night? Does it make you sleep
Isn't
better?
it funny? Isn't it funny? We're giving them personal information. We're giving them location. And what we get in return is a thumbs up or a heart. That's
Yeah.
what the social
right.
media
You're
platforms
right.
are
Thank
giving
you.
us back. And we're giving all this vital information away that they can use to their
It's all out there.
expense. And
Again,
they could,
that was my point.
it's ironic. I
That
think
was
it's
my point,
ironic
though. That was my
they do
point. It's to influence people. It's to influence their actions, influence their thoughts, their ideology. We can go political with this. We can go cultural. We can go sociological. Whatever you want to, psychological, whatever you want. But the point is that these people that we're giving, as you said, we're giving our location, information, personality, everything, and they're using it to influence us, not for us to influence other people, but that was the point I was trying to make from the beginning.
Let's see how much Facebook was listening. All right, I'm gonna scroll and look at the first ad that
Don't
comes
do
up.
it, David.
I'm
Suicide.
gonna scroll
ahead.
and
Go
look
ahead.
at the first ad that comes up. You ready? Here we go. Keep going. And wow, they're listening definitely because they haven't given me an ad yet, and I'm at like 6 posts.
Oh no, they're hiding.
They're hiding now. They're hiding. Oh, wait, here we go.
Who's they?
Haven Life. Why Haven Life? Easy apply online, up to $3 million in term coverage. So they're listening to us. They're trying to sell us insurance because of what we're saying.
Because we're all about to get shot. You guys are gonna need life insurance after this podcast.
Yep.
That's scary.
Well, that's the price of the truth.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Hey, well, at least they know where they can find Dave.
Yeah, honestly, that's like the only thing like I keep
hear
saying.
him.
Because like Dave's like, come find me. I don't care if you show up with bread or like guns. Just come over, but don't you dare get political.
no. The point is that I preach this. It's part of my personal faith is that we're all relational creatures and God made us that way, and that we're supposed to connect to people,
Mhm.
and that's a divine moment. It really is when we connect with people. The cruelest punishment is to put someone in solitary confinement, to separate them from everyone else. It really is, seriously. So when we have these devices and technology and social media and things like that that connect us with people, but they don't really connect us with people, you don't have that face-to-face, what we're doing right now, interaction. That's why I started a podcast, because I was tired of putting posts, putting pics, putting tweets. No, hear me. Hear my voice. I'm authentic. Listen to me. When you get rid of that, it creates a disconnect, and it causes chaos. So I'm all about that. So yeah, come to my place, give me some bread, as you said, or whatever. Shoot me. I don't care. Whatever. I don't care.
Jesus.
But it's about the human connection, though.
You've
And I
gotta-
feel like this destroys that. It really does. This destroys that. When you don't have a human connection with one another, a relationship, it ruins our biology. Seriously, to the core.
So arguably, the millennial Sunday Millennial is putting the human back into interactions.
It should.
We'll
Hopefully.
put that the title at the top. Putting human back
It should.
into interactions.
It should. No, it honestly should. Because
I like it. I
you
like
can't read somebody by a tweet. You can't read someone's life by a post.
Perfect example right here. Have you ever texted somebody and they say something in a text and it comes off as one way in your head, but they meant it some other way in their head?
Exactly.
I wrote a paper on this, actually, in
Exactly.
college.
Thank you.
I wrote a paper on this
Thank
in
you.
college.
That runs me up a wall. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm reading it. I'm like, all right, I'm calling them.
I called a communication breakdown. But when emojis or whatever is like ruined a conversation, you know, and that's what it is. It's like, yeah, it doesn't. You can like I forget exactly what text I came up with for the example, but if that like you send that, and if you don't do the right exclamation point, or if you do it in all caps,
Right.
or something like that, it seems like you're screaming at someone, or like it's
Yeah.
and that's where emojis came from. They were trying to compensate for that stuff to make it a little bit more emotional, but it's not as good as having just a gosh darn conversation.
No. The human
Darn
connection.
it.
And you can make your own funny faces.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm all about human connections. It's a part of my life. It's part of my ministry, as I said again. But I don't know. I mean, and the problem, and bring it back to what we're talking about, because we really got off a rabbit hole.
Yes.
Is that people are profiting off this. You know, I said in 3 months in 2018, I quoted a NBC article that Google made $32 billion
And billions.
dollars in 3 months. That's insane. That's insane. And I said this to you, and you're like, that's petty cash.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Are taxpayers or people getting
No. No.
That-
And that's why it was amazing to find a presidential candidate like Andrew Yang who said, like, we should have a sales tax on that. You know, I was telling you about that. It's like,
it's
it's
the
crazy.
billionaires.
It's crazy. You buy.
They don't want to tax.
You
They don't
buy.
want taxes.
I had sales tax when I bought this.
Mhm.
It's 6 cents to the dollar, or whatever the hell it is.
Nailed it.
No sales tax for your tweet, your post, your search, and they make $32 billion in 3 months.
$32 billion.
It doesn't make sense. But people are profiting off of everything we talked about, and we went deep. We did. But I want to know, just finally to close this topic, what your hopes and fears are. So with everything we talked about, with people tracking where you are, I don't care, of course. But also, you know, your interests, your likes, you know, what you search, your apps. What are your hopes and fears? I would assume that your hopes would be that it would make things a lot easier, convenient, as Kyler always brings up. Talks about the convenience of America. Everything. Want to be convenient. All that stuff.
Not in a good way.
Want to be
Not in a
James
good way.
Bond, you know, take me to this restaurant, or, you know, order me a bottle of wine or whatever. Convenience. That's the best thing it could be. But what are your hopes and fears?
Convenience kills, my friend.
Okay.
Should we go around the table? Start with
Absolutely. Donald, go ahead.
I wasn't prepared for this, but I guess my hope would be is that, I mean, if we can learn anything from looking at what's happening to the suicide rates, the mental health rates in America, at least that. Money is one thing. It'll always be there. It'll be always something you can work for. Obviously, it'd be great if everyone was rich. Probably won't happen, but I think it's a problem that if we can't look at the mental health and the suicide rates and say, okay, we're doing something wrong, you know, by pushing all these social medias, pushing all of this, you know, click like and subscribe, or like my post and share. You know, it's great and wonderful for some purposes, like, you know, definitely like this podcast. But if you're just, you know, throwing a football in the air and you're getting famous on TikTok and you're getting 30,000 views, and next week you post a video and you get 4, it's like that kind of. I think that's where the problem is where for the work you put in and for what you're actually doing on these social media sites, it's perpetuating this, you know, reward for something that's not necessarily there. I think to work to get to something like this is different than what that is. I think if you're trying to make something out of nothing and it's affecting your mental health, I think some companies need to step in and realize that they're putting kids under this pressure that maybe they don't realize. So my hope is that that gets fixed, or you know, maybe some funding goes that way. And my fears is that none of it will be fixed. So
That's a really good point, and we didn't talk about like suicide rates and depression.
They've
and stuff
gotten
like that.
so bad
I mean, like
since,
it's crazy
Corona.
we didn't talk about that, but you were absolutely right. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head right there. You know, and companies really probably don't care because they want profit.
They don't care at all. Come
They
on.
don't care at all. They care about the money, but like it is affecting people's brains. You know, we put a lot of work into this podcast so that we could express our views authentically and our own experience and what we know, and that's really great. It's so much more than a text or a tweet or a post. It's more beautiful and it's more us, right?
Yeah.
You know, and no corporate entity is touching this
Yet.
yet.
By the way, we're looking for sponsors.
Yeah, we'll take anything we can get.
Yeah.
It goes back to money, but you bring up a good point though, how it affects people's minds though, and it just, you know, I wish we would have talked about it more, but I'm really glad you brought that up. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Kyle, you're next.
Who?
Well, I was gonna go to Dave, and I was like, no, you know what? No, Kyler. We'll go to Dave last. Usually we go to Dave first, but we'll save Dave for last. Kyler, you go.
I'm only going to say 3 words that I think will describe all this, and that's knowledge is power. Right? Just how information can be used for a certain purpose, or it can be used against people as a weapon. And I think this just spotlights it perfectly. That knowledge is a form of power, and these companies are using that to make themselves richer, and will continue to use that. And hopefully, you know, they don't expand upon that power, but I fear that it could. So, you know, a lot of people don't believe in that, you know, little quote, but that's... I do. So I think it's very powerful.
That's a really good point. And I sorry, but I feel like your fears are going to come true.
Me too.
Yeah,
So I was going to say fear is power too, not just knowledge.
exactly. So,
A lot of things are.
yeah. Good point, CJ.
We go deep.
Thank you for your final thought.
Yeah, no problem.
Dave, we're going to go to you next.
All right, I have 2 ways to look at this. I'm going to look at it as a businessman. I'm going to look at it as a personal person. All right? As a businessman, hey, you guys we're collecting all your data. I want to advertise my new product. Damn, you guys have all that information? What is it going to cost me to target those people? Oh, it's only going to target this. It's only going to cost this much? Man, I can spend this amount of money to promote my product to a certain individual that would probably buy my product. I'm paying that. And that's capitalism. That is what our country is built on.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, if you look at it that way, that's what Google's doing. They're just doing what they do best.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing what this country was built on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and all of us, if we have something, would you rather advertise your product to say you're doing a baseball bat, all right? Would you rather be able to know that you're advertising your baseball bat to baseball players? Or would you rather be able to know that you're advertising your baseball bat to 10,000 people that don't even know what baseball are? That's what they're doing. Mm-hmm. They are finding out and writing these algorithms to figure out target audiences for things. So as a business owner, I would want to pay that for advertising fees to make sure I'm targeting the correct people. That's what they're doing in a nutshell. On a side note, do you care about it as a person? Do you care that they're targeting you for whatever it is? Hey, we were just talking about kayaks. Hey, the next couple of advertisements we're going to get up is kayaks. Yo, I really wanted a kayak. So, hey, it's pretty convenient that a kayak ad came up because, oh my God. So that's the problem, is you have to look at it that way. And I don't know if you guys ever watched a movie called Idiocracy.
Yeah, I seen that with yeah.
If you haven't watched that movie, watch that movie, because I mean, in reality, that's where we're headed down. And you have to either accept it and like or just be smarter than it.
Weren't they watering the plants with Powerade in the
Yo, it's what plants need. Powerade, it's what
I'm
plants
sorry.
need.
Ever since you said that, all I can picture is them pouring.
How about
Powerade.
this? The president of the country at that time was a professional wrestler. What is Donald Trump? He's actually an ex-professional wrestler.
Wow.
So that's the thing. It's like you either have to accept it and understand that and ignore it and understand what's going on. At least you're informed. You're informed on what's going on. Or just get off the internet completely.
Yeah.
Boom.
Sorry.
No.
I think we hate how honest you are because it's the brutal truth.
Yeah.
Truth hurts now.
It does.
You can accept it or not. And I hate to say it, that I have this argument a lot with people because I'm like, listen, you can concern yourself with other things in your life and better yourself with enriching your life with other people and other things you do, or you can concern yourself with this and be like, well, my privacy is important. Well, you know what? You know, if that's the most important thing you're thinking about in your life, you've got to figure out some other priorities.
Exactly. It goes back to what I said about how relationships are so important.
Yeah.
Who's next to you?
Yep.
Who means most to you? And who's going to be your friend next?
Yep.
You know? For my final thought, to wrap up our show here tonight, we're into the second week of protest. And as I continue to watch and listen, I'm both heartbroken and hopeful. I'm heartbroken to meet and see people who can't understand why people are peacefully protesting. I really can't. Who continue to look at the rioting and looting and not understanding the real issue of racism and police brutality. And I admit at times I feel helpless. I really do. Because I know the reason, and I try to educate others. Our black brothers and sisters are suffering, not just now, but from centuries of oppression. But it doesn't seem to sink into people that I meet or that I'm around. And yet, I do see glimmers of hope. I see celebrities speaking out. I see my people like Carson Wentz and Zach Ertz speaking on these issues on the basis of humanity and faith, which is really inspiring. I see corporations finally speaking out. Finally, corporations speaking out. The NFL admitting they were wrong. NASCAR, can you believe it? NASCAR banning Confederate flags. Who would ever see that? It's amazing. And viral videos of cops and anti-protesters hugging and marching with people in the movement. So inspiring. And it inspires me in my efforts to combat racism in rural America. And my efforts are not for naught. That maybe I can inspire change in my ministry, in what I do personally, to those that I pastor to and those I take care of. Maybe even those listening to the show. I'm not going to stop the fight. I'm going to continue the fight for our black brothers and sisters. And I really hope that you who are listening right now will join us. Those living in rural America. That's our show. Stay tuned. Stay happy. And we will see you later.